Audio Jungle.
Number 1. The French twist. There's nothing French about the French twist, except for the name. This twisted hairstyle actually dates to ancient Greek fashion. Women in ancient Greece wore their hair in twists and braids in many elaborate hairstyles. In France, the French twist was known as chignon du cou. It's much easier to say French twist, and that's how the hairstyle came to be known. The French twist was especially popular during the late Victorian period in the 1890s. The fancy look may have contributed to its name. In both Britain and America at the time, many things were attributed to France that actually were not French inventions. Number 2. French dressing. French dressing, as it's known in America, is nothing like the salad dressing you will get in France. Oil and vinegar is used to dress salads in France. The tomato-based concoction, known as French dressing, is most likely an American invention, and its origins are shrouded in mystery. Salad dressings became popular in America in the 1800s, and many early entrepreneurs began packaging and selling their own dressing recipes. Campbell's Soup Company was one of the businesses that got into the salad dressing game early. They were publishing recipes for salad dressing using Campbell's soup as a primary ingredient even before World War II. Perhaps it was they who first added the tomato to French dressing, which made it completely American from then on. Either way, one of their early recipes calls for Campbell's tomato soup, a flavor that has become a standard of what Americans call French dressing. Tomato-based salad dressings are not traditional French cuisine in any way. Number 3. The beret. The beret is such an iconic French symbol that you can hardly separate the hat from the nation. The beret, though, was not invented in France. Biblical legend holds that the beret was invented by none other than Noah himself after he discovered some trampled wool near his sheep pens. The wool became felt, which Noah cut into a circular shape and wore on his head. The beret was worn at least as early as ancient Greece, around 1500 BC, and became the most popular hat for men in the Middle Ages. The origins of the hat may be murky, but there is no question that French shepherds popularized the look. Shepherds working in the fields around the French Pyrenees wore wool hats to stay warm during cold nights in the 1600s and into the 1700s. French artists living in the left bank region of Paris made the look popular again in the 1800s and 1900s, as they were the hipsters of their day. This is when the beret became the iconic symbol of French artists and, by extension, French people everywhere. The French were the first to use berets in the military, which may be why the style is linked to the nation. French soldiers began wearing berets as early as the 19th century. Today, berets are worn by US soldiers and military personnel around the world to signify certain ranks and regiments. Number 4. The French braid. The history of French braids goes back before France even existed. French braids are as old as the ancient Greek culture, where women wearing braid styles were depicted in art, or even ancient Africa, where rock art shows styles like the French braid that are 6,000 years old. Braids were worn by Celtic warriors when Europe was still carved up into tribes, and women of the Sung dynasty wore them as a popular style of the day in ancient China. French braids are one of the oldest and most widespread hairstyles, so why have they been known as French for so long? It all happened back in the United States in 1871 with a short story published in Arthur's Home magazine. In the story, a husband tells his wife to wear her hair in that new French braid. The French braid design has been associated with France ever since. Number 5. The French horn. Two men, who certainly were not French, are mainly credited with the invention of the French horn. The instrument was not invented or even modified in France, but its complicated design led to the English calling it a French horn. Horns were invented mainly for hunting and weren't used in musical compositions until the 1500s. When the traditional horns were modified with large flared ends, the nickname French horn was applied in the 1600s. But it was Heinrich Stölzel and Friedrich Blumel who get most of the credit for the design used today. They invented the valves that give the French horn its distinctive sound. The double French horn, the design associated with more modern French horns, was created by Edmund Gumpert and Fritz Kruspe. Neither man was French. More than any other nation, Germany is responsible for the French horn used today. Number 6. The French manicure. Fancy manicures have been around almost as long as fashion itself. Wealthier people have been manicuring their nails for 5,000 years, making the French manicure a relatively new nail trend. And when the look was invented in 1927, it was first worn an ocean away from France. The French manicure was created by famous Hollywood cosmetician Max Factor when he invented two new nail colors. One was a creamy, pinkish shade that matched the natural color of unpainted nails. The second was a pure white that contrasted perfectly with the other polish when painted just on the tips of the nails. The white tip, rosy nail manicure was popular for years before it was classified as French in the 1970s when Jeff Pink, who is the founder and president of Orly and creator of professional nail color and treatments, used a style similar to Max Factor's to create a natural nail look. He was asked to repeat the process on the Paris fashion runways, and the trend quickly caught on as the French manicure. The look has been linked to French fashion ever since, though it was originally invented miles away, in California. Anyways, that is all for this video. I hope you had a good time. Please smash that like button and subscribe to this channel for more. Thank you and take care.